You look at Hillary Clinton's career, and it baffles me so much that she has been allowed, mostly by our mainstream press and to the shame of her own party, to somehow be held up as some kind of champion for women and fighter for justice for children through 40 years of her career, when time after time she's chosen the side of rapists just to make herself look good.
I want to send a message to every survivor of sexual assault. Don't let anyone silence your voice. You have a right to be heard, and you have a right to be believed. We're with you.
Hillary's on tape laughing, saying that she knows that they're guilty.
I have been Congress, which he passed, which forever destroyed my faith in Congress.
And has made some other remarks and, down the line, and I'm standing up for what's right for me because I know it happened, and she's trying to make me look like a liar and that I asked for it and all that. And
by the way, we should pull up a photo of you when you were 12. That's online. People can also go to theirlivesfoundation.net. We can put that website on screen for people so we can personalize this. I mean, you were a little girl. I have a 12-year-old daughter. I have an 8-year-old daughter. And, you know, before I had daughters and children, I would get upset hearing about abuse of women and children. But now, I mean, I'm going to be honest, it makes me just start feeling very violent whenever I think about people abusing little girls, especially.
And I think what can't be underestimated is you take a case like this and the level of violence. Rape is always a horrible crime. This was no ordinary rape. He beat and almost murdered this little girl so badly she was in a coma for 5 days. So you top that off with there being absolutely zero justice for the victim, Kathy, in this case, and that's makes it a double tragedy. And that was deliberately designed and pulled off by Hillary Clinton.
Kathy, do you want to tell folks, just look at the camera over there and tell folks what happened to you?
I was riding my bicycle, or going a couple blocks riding my bicycle over to church, and my mother really didn't want me to, but she let me and said after church she'd pick me up in the bicycle. I talked her into it because it was still daylight, because she always worried about me. But it was like a couple blocks away. On the way over there, this truck stopped. 2 men got out of it, started coming towards me, and it scared me really bad. And they told me I was going with them, and I said, no, I'm not. I tried to get away, but I couldn't. They jerked me off my bicycle. They put me in the truck. They started ripping my clothes off of me. I was screaming and crying, trying to holler for help, and it was like no one heard me. We go out on a road somewhere, just plum fields. I don't remember what road it is today. I remember all the fields, and they were beating me. And then they raped me, and he was saying he knew I liked it, except in a more terribly manner than that. I was left out on the ground, barely conscious. Sometimes, at one time, I was unconscious. I crawled to a porch out of nowhere. I don't know where the house was or how I made it there, but they thought they had killed me, and they were coming back for me. And the lady at the porch I crawled at turned her porch light on, and it scared them back off. And she got their tag number, and that's how they caught him today. And
well, a girl beat in a field, and reportedly you were in a coma for, what, 5 days?
Yes, I woke up in the hospital 5 days later out of a coma, and was told that I couldn't, 99% chance I couldn't have kids, and I had several stitches down in my private area.
I realized this year that Kathy's story is one that it's so different, it's so unique. It really does represent the epitome of the type of corruption that Hillary Clinton practices. It has nothing to do with her husband, Bill Clinton. It has everything to do with her choices, Hillary's own choices, and decisions to bend and break rules, ignore protocol and procedures, cheat the system, rig the system to get an outcome that she wants.
And by the way, we now learn about Tim Kaine. He would cry when horrible rapists and killers and people, he was unable to get them off, and he said he enjoyed it. And there's these videos of him acting really weird. It's like some type of celebration. It's like, who are these people?
Well, you look at Hillary Clinton's career, and it baffles me so much that she has been allowed, mostly by our mainstream press and to the shame of her own party, to somehow be held up as some kind of champion for women and fighter for justice for children through 40 years of her career, when time after time she's chosen the side of rapists just to make herself look good. People should be angry about this case. It is unbelievable, the hypocrisy that Hillary Clinton is getting away with to have this reputation and self-promotion as a defender of women and children's rights activist, and then deliberately, voluntarily choose to take the side of a child rapist here and do not only everything within the bounds of legal ethics and law to get him off. That would be bad enough that she chose to do that and be on his side. But in order to win her case, in order to look good, in order to prove that she can win, she bent the rules. She went outside proper procedure. She violated court orders. These are things that we're uncovering by the day in this case because, hey, guess what? The mainstream media has never bothered to do it. They've taken Hillary Clinton's previous explanations and descriptions of this case at face value and never challenged a bit of it. And we are unraveling everything she has ever said about this case. And it turns out most of it's flat out lies.
What I don't get is, I've seen the old newspaper articles, I've done research on this. They admit you got raped, this happened. They admit you got grabbed in the truck and taken off. A bunch of 40-year-old men drag a 12-year-old off in a truck to a field. I say execute every one of them. You know, I mean, this is so obvious. How the hell did this happen with this Democrat judge and all this? And it's just everything. She just gets away with everything.
In the end, Hillary Clinton monkeyed around with the evidence, manipulated the system enough to argue that there wasn't enough physical evidence to convict. The prosecutor rolled over in this case, by the way. There's zero evidence that he challenged Hillary Clinton's unsubstantiated stories about the physical evidence not being sufficient. So between the prosecutor rolling over, also a liberal Democrat, the judge cooperating, and Hillary Clinton having insider help to kind of make all of this happen, the end result was that before jury trial actually occurred, a plea bargain was reached. The guy pled to a much lesser charge, was sentenced to a year in jail, but it does not appear that he actually spent any time in jail.
So I probably should have said that up front. That's right. You know, he pled to a lesser charge. She, quote, got him off, but they admitted that were trying to deny it all. They'd done this. And I just can't believe the community didn't lynch these people. I mean, what do you want to say to Hillary? Because believe me, she watches. Cameron, I mean, what do you want to say to Hillary all these years later?
I want to say if this was her daughter that happened to, and this was her first case for her daughter, would she have got hurt? Would she have got these men off? Would she have protected them from her daughter? I don't believe she would have. I believe she would have come forward then because it would have been her daughter. But since it was somebody she didn't know at all, and I'm nothing to her, so, you know, just like any other woman or child that she says she's for, I've heard many times that the hotline she had going, when you called it, the number was supposed to call you back, and people didn't get a call back from the number.
Well, look, I mean, it's normal to have empathy as a human being. Anybody's daughter is my daughter or son, but these people don't have it. Now, they might care about their family, but only because they see it as some extension of themselves, and they're so blind, and our society seems to be run by these really handicapped individuals that are sociopathic.
Yeah, emotionally, psychologically, empathetically handicapped is a good way to put it. There just doesn't seem to be that. I think even if you had defended a guilty client in a horrific situation like this, when you choose to describe the case later like Hillary Clinton did, you would think, if you have any human decency in your heart, that you would be describing that case starting out by saying, this was terrible, this was
I know defense
sad.
lawyers.
Instead, she laughs, and
exactly.
she treats it lightheartedly.
By the way, we have that clip, and we're going to Leanne McAdoo. Since you mentioned it, that's a great point. Here's Hillary. This is undisputed. CNN tries to say this tape's fake. Hillary admits it's real. Here's Hillary, you know, making jokes. Here it is.
Of course, he claimed that he did all this stuff. He took a lie detector test. I had his polygraph. when she passed, which forever destroyed my faith in politics. But you know what was sad about it was that the prosecutors had evidence, among which was his underwear.
His what?
His underwear, which was white. Sent it down to the crime lab for those efforts to reform the crime lab. Crime lab took a pair of underpants, neatly cut out the part that they were going to test, and tested it.
Now, that's Hillary bragging to journalists, she thinks are her friends, that she cut the blood out of his underwear, her blood. And she's getting off on it. It's like, what frickin' planet does this demon come from? And that's the thing. In all the WikiLeaks, which confirms everything you said, they get off on bad. Where they could do better doing good, they don't. They want to do bad.
Well, she talked about having public positions versus private positions, and apparently public position is I need to be a defender of women and children. Private position?
I cut the blood off his underwear.
I'm proud of getting somebody off like this. I just want to win.
I want to send a message to every survivor of sexual assault. Don't let anyone silence your voice. You have a right to be heard, and you have a right to be believed. We're with you.
Look, I'm not going to sit here and say, see, I told you so, that communist Chinese-style net censorship was coming to the web, because it's already here. It's being announced. The way you keep the internet open and free is you get involved more than ever. Go to Infowars.com/app. A new battleship in the fight. Infowars Live, available right now. We're looking for a crew to man it. You gonna sit down and play games and be a trendy? Or are you gonna be part of history? Don't sit by and let the internet and free speech be stolen from you. Take action.